Hi, this is Deb Halfrich. This is a performance, a Socratic monologue. Because, God damn it, there's a piper down. There's a philosopher down. Did you watch So I Married an Axe Murderer? That little scene where they do you think I'm sexy on the bagpipes? And at the end, there's a piper down. I'm a philosopher down. Somehow, some way, in my darkest inability to know how to continue living. And let's get this straight. I'm not the least bit suicidal. But the financial aspects of an inhumane human civilization wants me out of here. That's why there's a philosopher down. Now, on the other side of the coin of just being at complete bedrock and loving myself, that my brain cannot play by the despicable, inhumane rules of this human civilization when it comes to making money. The sameness, the formulaicness. In order to stay alive, and wait till you find out everything that I've done, but just to sum it up, I lost 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50. And then just as I was about to step back into the world from my hermitage, because how I got there was so isolating. Humanity just has left me for dead. But I never left myself. And in my despair, Aubrey, Marcus, I found your podcast via Joe Dispenza. I use my mind, the quantum field, to lose those 150 pounds. I want to share this with the world. I have actually become the founder of an entirely new category of philosophy. I've been calling it #wellbeing philosophy if you want to search. But I'm thinking I might need to pivot, since that didn't go out yet, into embodied philosophy. Maybe I just call myself an embodied philosopher of well-being philosophy. What I'm looking for is an instant tribe. That's to save my life. I need what has not existed for nearly 52 years. Just a group of friends saying, yeah, let's help Deb be a world evolver. Imagine what happens when somebody who can be as honest and as complexly matrixing in a Socratic monologue, and I can do Socratic dialogue too if there's other people around. But in order to stay sane, I had to learn to talk to myself. It's really bizarre what human civilization has become. But I used that to develop a psi capacity that I've not heard anyone talk about. Now, at a practical level, what I believe has happened is called elder savanting. And I was born a philosopher. I am a degreed philosopher. And then I had to conform to the world, and I became a software consultant doing payroll. But I can play by the numbers so well that I've realized that the key to the future we all want, a Most of us don't believe we can get there. But it's this simple. We just need a new math. The math of life. 1 + 1 = 3. There is a reliable, 100% accurate occurrence happening every day all across the globe, in Africa, in Peru, in Manhattan. Probably not in DC, but the political DC. But everywhere else. 1 man + 1 woman = a third baby. The math of life. Body philosophy. Hand signals. Oneness. 1 + 1 = 3 is basically the math of evolution. It's the math of reproduction, literally, you know? We're in this world where we're doing everything 1, 2, that's it. I mean, we know that there are then all these things where, I could rip them apart or burn them or incinerate them in my power tools of destruction. But if I want a third one, I need to exchange money, which the concept right now is one of scarcity and lack, because that's how you trap people. It's how you entrap human life force, is through the concept of currency as it exists up until today. And that's what I failed, is I just keep trying to make babies with other people, as in strategic collaborations. And until Joe to you and then to Aaron, because I already recorded one of these to Aaron, so holla, connect with each other, verify my energy. I am a real person in a real dire strait. I just need some zeros and ones. Investment in the story of the midlife metamorphosis of one human from a polar bear body, 333 pounds, y'all, to becoming a giraffe after 50. Oh, I see Kafka, cockroach and shit. From a polar bear to a giraffe. This is my midlife metamorphosis. And I have spent the entire duration of COVID envisioning and playing with people. And I've ended up completely bankrupt and about to become homeless. I couldn't care any less about them anymore. Becoming this philosopher, doing what I've done, even though I've not completed it, understanding how consciousness works. And the consciousness is an easy problem. One of the things that, again, just a little stability, having some people to live with. I have been utterly alone for a decade. And this transpired not just from the lifelong obesity. I mean, but you can see how that would set me down a path of being okay with being alone. But where the real hermitage came from is having a toxic mold exposure. And not having the human support to not turn off communication, turn off like worrying about what other people think, say, do. And then as I got better, I can't come play by the poisonous rules. I need a community of people who are in the process. I call it world evolving. The spiritual path is not necessarily mine, although it turns out that probably the spiritual people who need to comprehend, and I think again in both Dispenza's work and the modality, how did I lose 150 pounds? Well, I'm supposed to not give you 15 minutes. Cannabis, plants, and the plants that we co-evolved with. I think that that's a synchronicity that we have. We also have ecstatic trance dancing. 150 pounds off that shit. So when I was talking to Aaron, I have this vision we could, get a series of like buses and just go around and just start, again, there's the flash mob, but it was this all, again, just the participatory, the ecstatic trance dancing, just some live musicians, an African beat, freeing expression. COVID, we have to have this, right? Cannabis, the tuning forks, and the ecstatic trance dancing. So this is Vylana. With having watched the two you have a conversation recently, I'm so pleased that you found each other. And help me find 50, 100 people to be my tribe. I just need a little bit of, a campfire to sit around for just a little while. And I'm going to create abundance. Because I understand that everything's frequency. But everything is also embodied. This is what I see, when I just think of you two, Aaron, those of you with bodies that didn't hit the level of 200 excess pounds. And many people do have 200 excess pounds worth of self-hate and distrust of their animal and their needs and such and so forth. I can open this all up. And I am a woo-woo guru who I spent 2 decades in corporate America. I can be that translator. I want to be that world evolver who takes these concepts and principles of oneness and says, you know what? Our ancestors all got it right. And ancestrally, we are all Africans. I am here to be the pale person who gets to shout, I'm 2/3 African. Because look, the freckles and the red hair, these are early adaptations that happened way before any human ever left Africa. Again, if we want anti-racism to be the rule of this new global civilization, and that's just one common foe, Africa is doing a better job as a region than any other of constraining the human effects. Now, of course, that's because they're ancestrally healthy. That's because they're not locked up in buildings and recirculating air and touching all this stuff because they've got to stock in stuff to deal with the pandemic. Again, so here's I want to become #redheaded She-Hulk. You can look that one up. There's like 150 videos on YouTube of practice. And it's this Socratic monologue. And it's this way of 360 degreeing everything together. Because here's the deal. We've hit this point of venerating experts. And then they get into the details. When we come back and surface it all up, it doesn't integrate well. As a philosopher, and Aubrey, you do this quite a great deal, we synthesize from all this experts, but we can then pull it together and say, this is like this is like this. You went into the darkness for 6 days, Aubrey. I lived alone for a decade. I need some trusted people to tune me back into human civilization right now. I'm looking for a little foster care, a guest room, a guest house somewhere, somehow. I'm in Seattle area. I'm on Whidbey Island. I'm looking to find an investor to help me found the Wellbeing Philosophy Institute, which we might also call hashtag embodied philosophy. I'm switching over to this maybe just a little bit more. Again, I was ahead of the curve. Wellness is polluted. Then pretty much everyone took over well-being. But it's the philosophy of human potential in the way of creatively and analytically. So not in the Western sense, not the linear 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 1 = 3. It's this new thing that happens when you know, okay, well, here's the man of this premise, here's the woman of this premise, and what they're going to do. You see, what we've all missed in our Western, and we read from left to right, all this kind of, our brains, language is a prison when it comes to interconnectedness and oneness. Yet when I bring in evolution and I say we're all African ancestrally, and I make some jokes about this because I think actually, how are you, help me find the right investors. I believe I'm going to become known as the next Dave Chappelle. And I am down with improving with that brother. Don't see any of this coming. That's like this key, this thing, as I hope to create, these lovely little, I think I'm at 15, 18, I got to get off of here. Just get you down. I've been training my brain to certain points, 18, 23 minutes, things like that. I typically like to do Pippins, 33-minute performances. And I just go around like this and I talk and I talk and I talk. If I know who I'm talking to, I have a better context. When I talk to myself, oh my God, the complexity of it all. Like I have a theory of everything. Consciousness is an easy problem as far as I'm concerned. You redefine it, you relook at it, and boom, Shaka Zulu. You don't see me coming. And I'm in training this capacity to be freely alive and to talk in stream of consciousness about things in the world, and to emote in here and to get at the verge of crying. You see, this when we think of the spiritual tradition and we think of the monks and we think of the meditation, and we have to get down in the theta brainwaves. Again, everything about vibration, these tuning forks. And this is a modality that I'm certain you guys will really enjoy, biofield tuning. And we can take this and integrate this and create a little thing, Vylana. I mean, I had to sell my bowls. And I still ended up bankrupt. So let's just I know that there's some abundance in your world where I can just hang out and be really of use, and I can get some feedback from y'all on how to build this thought leadership brand, build the Embodied Philosophy Institute. Just to make clear, anti-racist, life-centric thinking about human potential, a necessary global public good. We know so much, but yet the average human has their free will taken from them in education, in working, in financial enslavement. Free will? Well, I'll tell you about that when you holler at me. But here's the thing. I'm the little redheaded girl who's grown up to be able to give Sigmund Freud vagina envy. Because I know how to explain the subconscious better than he did. Peace, holler, Deb Helfrich at Gmail. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's record our first conversation, first impromptu conversation. Let's create a little series. Let's just get things happening. Because I've got a world out there that I can help evolve. Harmony, love equals peace.